Hello and welcome to Threefold Herbal Healing. I'm Herbalist Leo. I help people who feel sick and tired of being sick and tired, or people that really struggle with chronic diseases grow their health from the roots up. Today, I wanted to share a little bit about vitamin D. I think it's very crucial in the fall and going into the winter to understand what is vitamin D, what is its role in the body, and how we can help support optimal levels of vitamin D through the winter. It is especially important at places north of, let's say, Atlanta, Georgia, because of the way the sun angle to the northern part of the country during fall season. So we will talk about fall and winter. So we will talk about it in a moment, but the other thing that happens in fall and winter is that we add a couple of layers of clothes on us to feel more comfortable with the temperature. And by doing that, we cover our skin. Now, we all heard about the damaging effect of skin exposure to sunlight during the summer, but our body must be exposed to sunlight for many of its functions, many of which are mediated by vitamin D. So actually exposing your body skin to sunlight is essential for your well-being. So let's talk a little bit about what is this vitamin D that so many people are talking about. During COVID, I heard so many people talking about how important vitamin D is, but what is it really? Vitamin D is not one substance. Rather, it is a group of fat-soluble, so it's made out of fat, hormone that play crucial role in many things that are important for your well-being, and we are going to talk about them. When you are exposed to ultraviolet sun rays, and that is where the angle of the sun to the earth is important, because those specific ultraviolet sun rays, it's a length of sun ray that is specific, the only length of sun ray that facilitate the skin actually synthesizing the vitamin D. So you have to be exposed to ultraviolet sun rays. It needs to be in a certain season, and it needs to be in a certain time of the day where the sun is angled to the earth in such a way that you get the ultraviolet sun rays. And when you get them, your skin initiates a process of synthesizing the vitamin D. But your skin is doing just half the job. You get the inactive vitamin D through what the skin is doing, and then it goes through two other stages, one in the liver and one in the kidneys, before it becomes the active vitamin D that the body can use. So what is the body using vitamin D for? The muscle skeletal tissue really benefit from vitamin D. So first, let's talk about bones. Vitamin D is essential for absorbing calcium from the food you eat. You eat food with a lot of calcium, let's say spinach. How does this spinach get into your blood? Because we are not, contrary to what we are told, we are not what we are eating, we are actually what we are absorbing. So in order to absorb this calcium from the spinach you eat, you need vitamin D. This calcium mineralizes the bones, so it's made the bones stronger. People with deficient in vitamin D might have low calcium. Now we are talking about really deficiency, like really lower vitamin D. And when they are deficient in vitamin D and they don't absorb the calcium, the bones become thin, brittle, and misshapen. A really severe vitamin D deficiency can lead children to have rickets, which is this thin, brittle, misshapen bones. Adult might have osteomalacia, and in women after menopause, especially when there is a tendency toward osteoporosis, vitamin D is extremely important. So, helping the body absorb calcium from the food in order to have strong bones become crucial as people get older. But calcium is involved also in muscle contraction. So, magnesium facilitates muscle relaxation. Calcium facilitate muscle contraction. Low calcium levels in the blood can cause muscle weakness and fatigue. Now, this is especially important when you think about the heart. The heart has many, many functions, but one of the roles of the heart is to beat the blood out. It works as a muscle. When you have a severe vitamin D deficiency, it might cause heart failure. Low vitamin levels in studies were found to be related to high blood pressure. So vitamin D is important for bone density, muscle strength, and lowering blood pressure. Vitamin D plays also an important role in metabolism and energy. Our energy is producing every one of our cells in the mitochondria. It's the organ in the cell that produces energy. And the respiration, the energy producing process, release carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is oxidative. It creates oxidative stress. Vitamin D works as antioxidant, so it helps reduce the risk of sustained inflammation, autoimmune disease, and early aging that are caused by high oxidative stress. Another way that vitamin D can support longevity and basically detox. It's a way of detoxing body out of the oxidative stress that is related to energy production. Now, vitamin D play an important role in the gut. We have only one thin layer between the digestive tract where the food is flowing, where enzymes are flowing, but also pathogens and waste product are flowing in the small intestines all the way. And there's a thin layer, one layer of cells between the gut lumen and the bloodstream. And we want this layer to be relatively coherent, relatively closed, so stuff is not going to leak into the bloodstream. And this is where vitamin D comes, because vitamin D is important for the tight junction. This is like a Velcro that holds together two cells, so the cells are not floating and there is holes between the cells. It keeps large food molecule, bacteria, waste product from entering the bloodstream and initiating an immune response. So when you're vitamin B deficient, you might have holes between the cells in your gut that allow pathogens entering your bloodstream and creating an inflammation that then travel to the entire body in the blood and create systemic inflammation. Why are we talking about vitamin D right now at the middle of fall? It's because between the fall equinox, which is in September 22nd, and about Thanksgiving, but really into Christmas until the shorter day of the year, um, December 20, we hear a lot about steep increase in colds and flu. It's like it starts very slow and it's spike in Thanksgiving and the following 3 weeks, mainly because we get less exposure to sunlight, which leads to a slow decline in the beginning, but later on a larger decline in vitamin D. Vitamin D is essential for modulating immune response in the body in a couple of ways. Research show a correlation between lower vitamin D during winter and respiratory tract infections. So we are talking about the cold and the flu here. Now we have the innate immune system have cells that are called macrophages and neutrophils. Those are immune cells that live in the airway. So we are talking about the lungs and the nose and the throat. And they just swim there in the mucus of the immune system or of the respiratory system, and they are gobbling on pathogens. So when you have something entering your body, a protein that those neutrophils and macrophages don't identify as part of you, of a self, they will try to gobble it and get rid of it. Vitamin D is really needed for those macrophages and neutrophils to develop to full maturity, which allow them to fulfill their job. Vitamin D also activate T cells to do their job as part of the immune system. T cells are part of the adaptive immune system. Adaptive immune system are the cells that meet a protein, meet a pathogen, learn the form of that protein, like a lock and a key. They learn the form of the key, and then they remember it. They develop memory to that specific disease. And then if you are exposed to that disease again, they act very, very fast. And you don't even feel the symptoms because they act so fast that the pathogen is neutralized before you have symptoms. So think about chickenpox and the way we are immune after the first time you got chickenpox. Vitamin D is important in training and activating those T cells to remember those specific protein of pathogens. So what can reduce your ability to synthesize vitamin D? There are certain medication that if you take them on an ongoing basis, reduce vitamin D exposure. Steroid, barbiturate, and PPI, or stomach acid and bile suppressant medication. So if you're taking those, you need to know that you might want to supplement with vitamin D because your ability to synthesize it is compromised. So when is the best time to synthesize vitamin D? The best time of day is between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. when the sun is really high in the sky, and of course in the summer, when we have a lot of sun. The winter sun is often very weak, and you tend to cover up your skin with a lot of layer, so there is not enough vitamin D synthesis during the cold season. The exception to that rule is if you expose your body to the sun when the earth is covered with snow, because the sun reflecting from the snow is good for synthesizing vitamin D. Another exception is high altitude. Vitamin synthesis increase in high altitude, but air pollution and smoke reduce vitamin D synthesis. So if you want to supplement with vitamin D, how much should you take and in what forms? Um, as a preventative medicine, you want a blood level of about 40 to 50 IUs of vitamin D in your blood. For treating an already existing immune disease, you want 50 to 90 IU of uh, vitamin D in your blood. Level of vitamin D that are higher than 100 IU put you at risk for kidney stones and heart disease because they will initiate too much calcium in your blood. For most people, dosage of 4,000 IU or 5,000 IU during the winter is everything that they need. Because it is a fat soluble, because it's made out of fat, it is best absorbed in the body if you ingest it with a fatty meal, so with the main meal of the day. It works best when it's ingested together with vitamin K2. So you see a lot of time, you see vitamin D, K2 on the bottle. And that is very good because while vitamin D helps the body absorb calcium into the blood, vitamin K2 actually take the calcium by the hand and lead it to the bones. And you really don't want calcium just going around in your body, floating in your blood, because it can kind of lead to calcium in the arteries that make them less flexible. So you really want to do the vitamin D with the K2. Um, you know, we are going into flu season, and most measures taken by allopathic medicine aim to reduce symptoms and weaken the pathogens and really, like just reduce the symptoms. As an herbalist, I support strengthening the host, strengthening the ecology of the body so the body can better engage with pathogen and learn how to strengthen the immune muscle. I think about the immune system as a muscle, that the more it is engaged, the more it is stronger and is able to do what it's there to do. When you want to strengthen your innate immune capacity, you want to ensure macro and micronutrients. You want to hydrate. You want to make sure that the room you're here is has enough moisture. So maybe you want to have um, like steam or something like that, that you feel like your mucus you're not dry. That's what I mean. And you put your vitamin D in an optimal range. Um, I talked a little bit more in detail last week about the way the microbiome or the bacteria in the body can support you, about the way lifestyle can support the immune system through the fall and winter. So vitamin D is just an add value to what we talked about last week. I hope it's helpful. I hope you find this beneficial. I would love to hear from you. So I will be really grateful if you drop a comment in the bottom and tell me what helped and what didn't. And wishing you a healthy fall. And that's it. Bye.